everybody. Welcome to Writers with Purpose. My name is Melvese from Written Words Publishing. At Written Words Publishing, we envision a world where every storyteller, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to share their voice, shape narratives, and impact the world through the written word. And today, the guest on our show will be author Sharise Johnson-Moore. She is the author of Coming to Loving Yourself. It is a powerful journey of healing, faith, and self discovery. It's a transparent and uplifting memoir where Sharise Johnson Moore shares how she rose from the depths of childhood trauma, abuse, grief, and self doubt, emerging with a renewed sense of identity, purpose, and divine strength. So let's welcome Sharise Johnson Moore to the show today.
Hello,
How are
everyone.
you doing today, Sharise?
I'm Melvese. How you doing today, baby?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Welcome to Writers with Purpose. It's great to have you here with us today.
It is
Uh,
great to be here, okay, with you, Miss Melvese, and thank you for having me on your show.
all right. Well, tell us something about yourself and let us know the purpose behind coming to loving yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharise Johnson-Moore, and I am the owner of Sharise Johnson-Moore LLC. I'm a publishing consultant and visibility coach, and I am the author of a book entitled Coming to Loving Yourself. It is a memoir, and it speaks about my life from age 2 to age 40. And I speak about all the things that had occurred in my life, and what really got me into writing was that I experienced three deaths in my life, and they were right behind one another: my grandmother, my father, and my mother. And I was sitting in my mother's funeral, and I heard the voice of the Lord speak to me. And the voice said, "Now it's time for you to write your book."
Mhm.
And the voice said that maybe like two more times. And I was like, third time, I said, "Okay, Lord, whatever you want, okay, I'll do. I'll be obedient." My sister must start talking to her, and I must have said that out loud, because she showed it, asked me, tomorrow, "Is you talking to me? You say something to me?" I said, "No, baby, just talking to the good Lord." And after I came home from my mom's funeral, I started writing the book, Coming to Loving Yourself.
All right, awesome, awesome. So, you say that you were inspired by the death of your loved ones. You feel like they left behind something that you needed to share with other people, or what do you think the connection was between their death and your decision to put it all out there in a book like that?
Okay, so this is how my life was before their deaths. I was out living a not so good life, and I was dealing with drug addiction, lady of the night,
Mm,
um, just didn't feel good about myself. I just dealt with a lot of stuff that I dealt with in childhood, but you know how you stuff in childhood can pop up in adulthood. So with that, before I was doing, before my grandmother passed, that's what I was doing. So and I think her death was the starting point for God to really, like, you ever had a child and you want to shake them, and then you want to slap them, and I kind of think that what God was trying to do to me, okay? Because my grandma raised me from a baby, so she really was my mom. So and she had a heart attack, and they had placed her in hospice for 2 weeks. Now, you would think, okay, well, she's on hospice, and you got a nurse and all that. No, we didn't have no nurse. I had to be her nurse.
mm, mm,
My father was not in the right state of mind to take care of her in that capacity, and God gave that responsibility to me. And luckily that I was in church. I was just coming from church. I was singing in church, and I was coming from a program, and that's how I found her when I walked in the room, right out the door to like right there, because she had a den. Like you walk in the house, the den right there, and that's where we had put her bed. So I had found her that she had passed away right before I got home. So yeah, and then this what happened. This what had a cousin, had a cousin who was a certified nurse assistant, and I didn't know how to take care of my grandma. So I asked my cousin to come over, come and teach me how to take care of her. So she taught me, and grandma passes, and then I start a class. I start going to the certified nurse assistant class. It's a private class, and I started going to that after she passed and got my certification and state board and all that, passed all that. So that's what led me from that life before her, and this what led me to a new life I started.
So I find that I've come across some authors who wanted to write about their past traumas and how they overcame and healed, and how they experienced it, may be able to help other people. But when they were writing, they couldn't complete it because they come to find out they weren't as healed as they thought they were. Did you find while you were writing your book that you had already reached that total healing process, or do you feel like writing your book was part of your healing process?
Both.
Mm.
Because I sure did ask the Lord. I said, now what I supposed to be writing about? He said, put everything in the book.
Ooh.
I'm gonna be obedient. He even gave me the title of the book. I said, Lord, what title? He said, Coming to Loving Yourself. That's the title he gave me. So, and I didn't have any of that trepidation. I just kept writing. I didn't, I put it in chronological order, changed the names of the people in the book, except for my grandma, my dad, and my mom. And told a story. Sometimes it's good to. It's therapeutic. It was very freeing for me when I wrote my book, because God took that anxiety. Oh, what they gonna say? Ooh, who gonna read it? Oh, I, God didn't give me. God delivered me from that anxiety and worrying about what everybody was gonna say. He said, write the story, and then do what write the story and publish. So I'm following, being obedient. And um I didn't I God I'll say this. I didn't have a problem with it, because if it hurt your feelings, that's on you. I got nothing to do with that. that emotion is on you. So that's how I took to that, worrying about, how people were gonna react. Oh, why you put this in the book, and da, 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 da. And I did get that reaction from one person though.
Well, first of all, to all you writers out there, know that you cannot please everybody. So don't ever try. Don't ever try. It's impossible. You write what's in your heart, what's in your story, what you need to tell, and let everybody else worry about what they don't like. Okay.
Yes, true that.
Yes.
True that.
So, what would you say would be the major takeaway for the readers of Coming to Loving Yourself? What would be like the greatest takeaway they're going to get from absorbing that book?
Know that God will bring you out of the darkness into the light. He will bring you from out of the darkness into the light. Um, you know, and you wanna. I had to let go of being a people pleaser, and that kind of really freed me. And I was like, look, I'm not here. After their deaths, I stopped worrying about people's opinion. I stopped worrying about all this other what other people thought and things like that. And I started doing what God asked me to do. And it wasn't, and he took that worry of validation from me. So that's that one take I want to give you, is that you will walk from out of the darkness into the light.
Mm. Most definitely, most definitely. I remember the conversation and this morning where they were saying, "What would you tell your 15-year-old self?"
Yeah, right,
I
right.
think the problem with talking to your 15-year-old self is you could tell your 15-year-old self whatever you want to say, but she
Mhm.
ain't gonna listen.
Right, right. You're not paying no mind, right?
She's not gonna listen. But
Mhm.
perhaps coming from somebody else who maybe have gone through something similar and have already overcame it, who went from the darkness to the light, reading somebody else's testimony and seeing how they did it, or seeing that they can do it, that it was done. If he did it for her, he'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Could be a inspiration to some of the young ones out there. What do you think?
Um, yes. The inspiration is there. It tells a time in life where I tell about some things you can avoid. Sometimes we do better reading and we'll go with the reading better than we go with the listening. So that will definitely help someone to inspire them that never give up on themselves, never see themselves less than. And when you walk in the room, to hold your head up high and don't worry about what everybody else doing.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Then do what you know is right. If you know that when you shouldn't be doing something, you know that.
Yeah,
Just don't do it. Don't
do
do it.
that. Do
Don't
that.
do it. Or
Do that.
at least take the time to think about the consequences
Before you
of
do
your
it.
actions before you do it. At
Yeah.
the very least, at least that way
Yes.
you knew what you were walking into before you made those choices.
Right.
Awesome, awesome.
Amen.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you would like our audience to know? Like, where can we find you? Where can we purchase your book? What else do you have going on?
Well, I have a website. It is on the ticker tape at the bottom of the screen, ShariceJohnsonMoore.com. You can find me on YouTube, Sharise Johnson Moore. You can find me on TikTok, Sharise J Moore. You can find me on Fanbase. You can find me on Fanbase as Sharise SNJMOORE. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on all of the apps. Okay, you can find me on all of the apps. So and um and the thing is, I go live on TikTok on Tuesday. TikTok at 6 on TikTok. I go live on Thursday. I go live on Instagram at 6 p.m. On Friday is fan base and Facebook business page. I go live at 6 p.m. On those pages. So if you want to come out, and do some things, I also have a clubhouse room. It is entitled Publish Now What. It is on Clubhouse, and I do that on Saturdays, every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The room is entitled Publish Now What.
All right, there you all have it. Sharice is everywhere you can find her, all over. That's the way you have to be too. There's some more tips for the authors out there. If you want to reach your audience, you are going to have to go far and wide. You cannot limit yourself to one platform. That's not going to work. If you want to reach your readers, you're going to have to go far and wide. And don't be afraid to put yourself in front of the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and let everybody hear your voice and know what it is that you do and what you have to offer and what they are going to gain from following you and using your services, purchasing your books or whatever else it is that you have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Well, Sharice, thank you so much for being a guest on our show today.
You're welcome, baby. Anytime.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for joining us here, and we will catch you all on the next episode of Writers with Purpose. Like the video, uh, subscribe, share it, Let everybody who you know may benefit from reading, come into loving yourself. Watch the video, go to Sharice's website, purchase her book, check out all her services, catch her live all over the place all week long, and we'll catch you all on the next episode of Writers with Purpose. Adios, everybody.